This is Keesha Ewers. I'm a nurse practitioner and an Ayurvedic practitioner and the owner and medical provider at Fern Life Center here in Issaquah, Washington, outside of Seattle in the Puget Sound. Fern Life Center is an integrated medical clinic, and a lot of people will say, well, what does integrative mean? Well, that is actually, for me, combining the best of the research of today, Western science, with the finest of time-honored wisdom of Eastern philosophy, which is much, much older than what we have today, namely Ayurvedic science, which is the sister science of yoga, comes from India, and it's 5,000 years old. One of the modalities that I use here in treatment of people as an individual is called functional medicine. And functional medicine is that Western style that's evidence-based from latest scientific research. And actually what functional medicine providers don't know is this is proven Ayurveda to be true, and what the people of India that practiced medicine so many thousands of years ago already knew. So functional medicine is a preventative medicine and an acute care medicine, and for the treatment of chronic illnesses. It looks at each person as an individual, just like Ayurveda. And I really like that because it's looking at the biochemical individuality of each person, as well as the genetic and environmental differences among people. Functional medicine is patient-centered rather than disease-centered. So it actually follows the words of Sir William Osler, which he actually said, it's more important to know the patient that has the disease rather than the disease that's in the patient. So the story of the person is really, really important. So when I'm using functional medicine, I'm actually looking at the dynamic balance of internal stressors as well as external stressors from the environment. I'm examining the interconnectedness of the body's systems. For some reason in Western medicine, we tend to look at the different systems and organs in the body as separate states that have boundaries and they don't talk to each other, when in reality, the body is actually an interconnected web of life. Whatever happens in one organ or gland is actually going to affect every other organ and gland in the body. The human body craves homeostasis, which actually means balance, and it will do anything to get to that, which means it can rob Peter to pay Paul, so to speak, or take from one organ to feed another if one's suffering. And so one of the things that we know in functional medicine today, and actually Ayurveda knew 5,000 years ago, is that there are different pieces of the puzzle that influence others. For example, we now know that immunological dysfunctions can actually promote cardiovascular disease, and that dietary imbalances or gut disbalance can actually affect hormones and make a hormonal disturbance. So we have a lot of genetic predispositions that we used to think typed us. That's really not true. Now we know our thoughts can change our genes. This is functional medicine. So one of the things that I'm looking for is that diet and exercise and nutrition, and when I say nutrition separate from diet, I'm actually talking about air and water too, and the health of that. How all of these things will interact with our traumas or the way that we're perceiving our lives. Perception is everything when it comes to curing a disease. Perceptions of traumas that happened in the past and the traumas that are happening today, and how those are filtered through our cultural and our ego development meanings that we've attached to things. So those imbalances that can arise are actually from a malfunction within this complex system of all the organ systems in the body, and that includes hormonal and oxidative, neurotransmitter, energy production, detoxification pathways, biotransformational imbalances, immune imbalances, digestive absorption, microbiological problems in the gut with small bowel overgrowth, structural imbalances, cellular membrane imbalances, all of these things have to do in each tissue layer in the body. So functional medicine helps us by determining what is the cause of this problem. So when I'm looking at a patient that comes into Fern Life Center, I'm actually looking at not only their tongue and their pulse diagnosis and their face and their story, which is number one that I'm listening to, as well as their lab tests. And I look at serum blood tests, the kind that you get in a regular lab, with hair analysis, stool analysis, and saliva testing for hormones. I want to know every single person and the whole picture, everything. So I do all of this, and many of these specialty labs are not actually covered by insurance. So some of this can tend to be a little more expensive than when you go to a regular doctor and everything's covered by insurance, but it gets to the root problem. So you're not chasing symptoms, you're actually curing disease, and you're getting down to real balance. So if you want some more information about this, you can actually go to www.fernlifecenter.com or call 425-391-3376. Actually, insurance does cover your visit to this clinic, if not some of the treatments, as well as some of the testing. But if you can uncover heavy metal toxicity or hormonal imbalances that you've thought you might have but can't be proven with regular blood work, this is the place to come. Thank you for joining me. This is Keesha Ewers.